Welcome to this live stream from First Unitarian Church of Des Moines. Our mission is to love radically, grow ethically and spiritually, and serve justly. We invite you to visit our website at www.ucdsm.org. It's a great way to explore all that our church has to offer, from adult programs, to religious education, to social justice work, and more. But the best way to know us is to visit on a Sunday. We'd love to get to know you over a cup of coffee after the service. Speaking of which, today's service will begin shortly. So now we'll take you inside.
Hear these words from the Reverend Erica Hewitt. To be a Unitarian Universalist means we'll never be done with the work of telling the truth about oppression, the work of resisting any laws, policies, or practices that deny anyone their humanity, the work of stubbornly seeking out the spark of the divine in each other, no matter what the work of creating heaven on earth.
To be a Unitarian Universalist also means we're not alone in the work. We're not alone because of our promises to love one another. We're not alone because we are companions on the journey.
We grow ourselves into allies, helping one another get free, because none of us is truly free until we are all free. Please join me in the chalice lighting words in your order of service or on the screen. The chalice we light today is a symbol of our faith. It binds us together as one people, a reminder that our strength is in our shared hope for the world, and that our common work is the creation of beloved community among ourselves and in the world. And now let us pass the peace. If you would prefer a little personal space, you can always simply remain seated, and your neighbors hopefully will take the cue and leave you in peace.
And we will start with one more step. Well, I cannot do anything about that. Hey, all
I don't think
right.
the song leader microphone is on yet.
Yes. Hello. Do it again. Okay, we're standing ready to sing 168, One More Step, verses 1, 2, and 4.
One more step, we will take one more step, till there is peace for us, and everyone will take one more step. One more
Good morning. My name is Diane Ford, she, hers. I'm your celebrant this morning. We welcome all people who welcome all people. We welcome all genders, ethnicities, bodies, and stories. Whatever you are carrying with you, whatever you long to set down or pick up today, may you find it here, and the love here, support, and encouragement you seek. If this is your first time, welcome. If you'd like help connecting with folks, please be sure to grab this wonderful, beautiful yellow Let's Talk mug during coffee hour to communicate your interest in getting to know more people. And those of you who come more often can also grab one if you'd like to talk. If you're noticing that it's hard to find a parking space now, I recommend the very large parking lot just across Bell Avenue by the Iowa Financial Association. And now let us deepen our awareness of this place and season. Our First Unitarian Church is located on land that has been home to people of woodland culture for 12,000 years, including the Iowa, Sauk, and Meskwaki. We wish you all a happy new year. We honor that on this coming Tuesday, the 6th, many Christians celebrate Epiphany, the day the Magi visited the infant Jesus.
Good morning, everyone. I'm the Reverend Steve Seek. I use he, him pronouns, and I'm honored to serve as your minister. Happy New Year. We, as UUs, are not held together by a creed, but by our commitment to one another through our bond of union. Will you please join with me in speaking together our bond of union? We covenant to associate ourselves together for the study and practice of morality and religion as interpreted by the growing thought and noblest lives of humanity, hoping thereby to prove helpful one to another and to promote truth, righteousness, and love in the world.
And we ask you to stand and turn on the mic again. And we will sing a kind of new song, new to me and maybe to you too, and it's one evidently that Steve really likes. So we will be hearing it more and more. It looks like it's in 3 parts, but we're just going to look at the melody. The middle line where it says melody.
Circle round for freedom, circle round for peace, for all of us imprisoned, circle for release, circle for the planet, circle for each soul, for children of our children, keep the circle whole.
Right? It is a good hymn. Thank you. This new year calls us forward, filled with wonder and mystery. As we turn toward 2026, we take a final glimpse back at 2025, and we reckon with all it held with us. There, you should have with you a small piece of paper. It's a special piece of paper and a pen. If you need either, please just raise your hand and hopefully the ushers can get you those. Now, this is not normal paper. This is dissolving paper. Yes, you're jumping ahead of me here. And if we have an usher or two that can help those who have hands up, they might need those little slips of paper and pens. Thank you so much. Yes, you're jumping ahead to where I'm going with this. What part of your life, what things, ideas, people, or ways of living have become obstacles to becoming the person you want to be, the people we need to be? What is holding you back? What's getting in the way of you living as fully as you would like to. Let me put it this way. What might you melt away? What will you relinquish from 2025? Write a word or two on that paper now. Nobody will see it except you, the water, and the cosmos. Just one thing, Bruce. Just one. We're writing a word or two of something that we will let go. When you're ready, I invite you to come forward through the side aisles. Place your paper in our gathered waters. This water includes water from our water communion. It is our congregation's water. As the water dissolves the paper, let it go. A lot of comments about the sort of the witch's magic there. I appreciated that. If this past year has held joy and growth for you, may that sweetness continue to bless you. If this past year has held pain and bitterness, may you be relieved of those burdens and renewed for your journey ahead. Let us look to the new with hope, with curiosity about its many unknowns, and with the faith in our strength to navigate it with grace. Thank you.
Good morning. Today we're going to be doing story from just sitting in our seats. So we will have no classes today, so we're just having people stay in their seats today. Give me one moment. Today's story is going to be Super Manny Stands Up by Kelly DiPuccio and Stephanie Gregan. Every day, Manny put on a different cape after school. When he wore his blue cape, he saved the world from an ocean of unsavory sea creatures. I am fearless. In his red cape, Manny battled an angry army of zombie bears. Roar, I am strong. He soared through the skies in his yellow cape and single-handedly brought down the evil cloud monsters. I am brave. When legions of alien robots with laser beam eyes invaded, Manny tirelessly fought them off in his purple cape. I am powerful. A green cape usually meant Manny was taking on the forest giants, defeating them one at a time. I am invincible. Traveling to the far reaches of the galaxy to fight crime and injustice wasn't easy. But that's what superheroes do. I am Super Manny. Manny always saved his top secret undercover cape for school. The invisible cape. With it, he battled mutant monkeys. He stopped fiery comets heading straight for Earth. He faced down giant squids with long tentacles and red eyes. I said move! Manny looked past his lunch to see where this loud voice was coming from. Tall One was towering over Small One and laughing. Move, little weirdo, he said. Small One seemed to get even smaller. Manny watched as Tall One continued his laughing and teasing. He felt frozen, glued to his seat, so he said nothing. He did nothing. Until he remembered his invisible cape. Manny stood up, and then he did the bravest, most courageous, kindest thing he could have ever done. He said, "Stop it." Tall One moved in closer. What did you say? Manny saw a storm of evil cloud monsters swirling around Tall One's head, but he had stared into the eyes of zombie bears, unsavory sea creatures, and forest giants before, so he didn't back down. He reminded himself, I am fearless, I am strong, I am brave, I am powerful, I am invincible. I said, stop it, he repeated, and a little louder this time. You're being mean. At that moment, everyone around him remembered they were heroes with their own invisible capes. Stop it. Hey, stop it. Don't do that. Cut it out. Quit it. Stop that. Stop it. That's not nice. Yeah, stop it. Tall One scowled, and then just like the legions of alien robots with laser beam eyes, he retreated. Mission accomplished. Small One was very grateful for the backup. And Manny was grateful too, because every superhero needs a sidekick. Thank you.
And we won't be singing the children out because they're staying with us.
Good morning. My My name is Jake Hake-Figge, and I am 1/4 of the Centering Nature leadership team. As a group, we gather together mindfully in nature and to help our connection to the plants, animals, and the people who make up our community. During our walks, we identify plants and animals and share quotes from poets and philosophers that fit with our monthly theme. We would love to have you join us on our monthly walks next year. If you want more information, we will be set up at a table after the service, or you can find us on Meetup or the church directory. Next Saturday at 1 p.m., yours truly will be giving a presentation on Iowa's Integrated Roadside Vegetation Management Program, detailing the program and how we use native plants in the roadsides in Iowa. We will also be doing a book group this year on the conservation classic Alda Leopold's A Sand County Almanac. We look forward to speaking with you more and hope to see you after the service.
Thank you. As we settle into our seats and take some slower breaths, let us take a moment together to process the extraordinary news yesterday that our nation abducted Venezuela's president and claimed of that nation that we've now invaded will run it properly. We will debate for years whether this was an act of liberation or a horrific example of the Monroe Doctrine or both. But what is clear at this point is that this act of war was done without Congress's approval and in violation of international law. And so we pray for our service members placed in this conflict. We pray for all Venezuelans. And we pray for all beings everywhere who experience violence. May we have the courage to resist violence. Ellen, thank you.
I'm Ellen Taylor, Pastoral Care Associate for our congregation. Sometimes we experience big changes in our lives, and we need a good listener to talk to. If you are feeling overwhelmed, lost, or alone in your grief, please call the pastoral care team. Reach out to us at pastoralcareteam@ucdsm.org. You can also request assistance or submit a joy or sorrow through the Caring Community page on our website, or by speaking to me or any member of the pastoral care team. In this community, we hold it all: joy, sorrow, laughter, and tears, and everything in between. Here's what's been shared with us this week. Gene McCracken shares both a joy and a sorrow in memory of his youngest brother, Wayne, who passed away 25 years ago on December 28, 2000, at the age of 50 and a half. Gene says, "Grateful to have had him in many ways, especially for uncling my son. Let's surround Gene with our care as he remembers his beloved brother." We received a message from former member Mark Campbell, who now lives in Athens, Georgia. He says, 14 years ago, our granddaughter, Amara Campbell, was diagnosed with a brain tumor. After 2 failed surgeries and 1 year of chemotherapy, she is doing fine. She's 18 and about to graduate from high school. Thanks for all the great comments we received when I was a member of UU in Des Moines in 2011. And thank you to the wonderful news Mark sent us, and congratulations, Amara. Member Katie Swalwell's beloved grandmother, Louise Rupp, passed away at 97 years old on Friday, surrounded by loved ones. She was an amazing woman who will be greatly missed. As many of you mark the new year as a fresh start, filled with new possibilities, others among us may find it difficult to transition into a future that looks different from what they imagined. Whether you are energized by what lies ahead or grieving a future you didn't expect, we are with you. As you carry your memories and grief alongside your hopes and dreams into this year, may the love and care of this community sustain you. A gentle reminder is that the Grief Support Group meets on the second Monday of each month at 5:30 in the minister's office. And our next gathering is January 12th, and all are welcome. We take this next moment to share aloud or in writing the names of those you are carrying in your heart today. We light 3 candles this morning, one for the joys and sorrows shared aloud, one for those shared in writing, and one for those held silently among us.
May we be filled with loving kindness. May we be well. May we be filled with loving kindness. May we be well. May we be peaceful and at ease. May we be whole.
For all that is our life, we sing our thanks and praise, for all life is a gift which we are called to use to build the common good and make our own days glad. Let us now take up our morning offering, for in giving we receive. Our reflection this morning is the poem The Journey by Mary Oliver. One day you finally knew what you had to do and began, though the voices around you kept shouting their bad advice, though the whole house began to tremble, and you felt the old tug at your ankles. "Mend my life," each voice cried. But you didn't stop. You knew what you had to do, though the wind pried with its stiff fingers at the very foundations, though their melancholy was terrible. It was already late enough, and a wild night, and the road full of fallen branches and stones. But little by little, as you left their voices behind, the stars began to burn through the sheets of clouds, and there was a new voice which you slowly recognized as your own that kept you company as you strode deeper and deeper into the world, determined to do the only thing you could do, determined to save the only life you could save.
New day dawning, life before us unexplored. Morning sun far above us lights the way. New world's calling, new world's calling. Feel the wind beneath your wings. Feel the wind beneath your wings. Fly into the promise of the bright new day. Like a moth drawn to the candle, I am drawn to future's fire. Lift wings and let me fly. Lift wings and let me fly. Let me fly closer to the flame. I'll fly closer to the flame, ever closer to the flame. Soaring upward, with a passion for the day, loving my life and flying closer to the flame. Like a moth drawn to the candle, I am drawn to future's fire. Lift the wings and let me fly. Lift the wings and let me fly. Let me fly closer to the flame. Like a moth drawn to the candle, I am drawn to future's fire. Lift the wings and let me fly. Lift the wings and let me fly. Let me fly closer to the flame. I'll fly closer to the flame, ever closer to the flame. Face the future, flying closer to the flame, ever closer to the flame, ever closer to the flame.
I have at one point or another in my life been dad to 11 different children. And I'm here to say in that role that the value of resistance is sometimes overrated. I fantasize about preaching about compliance. Now, before you kick me out, I feel like I should explain some obvious things first. I truly hope we can all agree here there are morally clear times to resist. We must resist fascism, white supremacy, homophobia, transphobia, misogyny, environmental destruction, just to name a few of the present evils in this world. Yes, of course, obviously, we resist, we should resist. But as a dad, I could use less resistance to turning off the TV for dinner. When your child is rolling on the floor screaming because they want just one more episode of SpongeBob, you develop a hunger for compliance. But that sermon is for another day, because this January we are exploring the value of practicing resistance. And I think Unitarian Universalism's long commitment to social justice helps us understand pretty quickly what we mean when we say practicing resistance. It's in our congregation's DNA. It's supporting the women's suffrage movement in 1908. It's the Reverend Curtis Reese's leadership here with religious humanism in 1917. It's our own member Edna Griffin leading a sit-in at Katz Deli in 1948. It is our very own Reverend Mark Stringer's officiating of the first legally recognized same-gender marriage in 2007. It is our ongoing Trans Lives Festival. These are practices of resistance, and we understand what that means. It means showing up for love and the flourishing of all people. It means that when policies or actions harm or suppress an identity or group, we resist. We lift these moments up in our congregational history because they're such morally clear examples of good resistance. Preaching about practicing resistance to Unitarian Universalists is like preaching about the value of cheese in Wisconsin. So a kid screaming about wanting more TV is an example of bad resistance. It is resistance, to be sure, but there's no moral claim behind it. It's just, I want. It's a desire to keep filling a craving, and I get it. It's actually painful to stop the dopamine rush of cartoons. Crying about turning off the TV is resistance, but that's not what we mean in Unitarian Universalist communities about practicing resistance. The problem is the word is too big. Maybe it helps to think of resistance as like a spectrum of behavior. So marching for women's right to vote is a gold standard resistance. Rolling on the floor because you want more TV goes on the other side. But there's actually far worse on this side of the spectrum. Timothy McVeigh was an American citizen, an Army vet who held a moral opposition to a powerfully centralized federal government. Fine, I've known decent libertarians who favor a limited central government. But McVeigh saw the government's actions at Ruby Ridge and then at Waco as evidence that a Rubicon line had been crossed, and he now had a moral obligation to resist. So he blew up a federal building in Oklahoma City, April 19th, 1995, and murdered 168 people. Was McVeigh holding his moral ground against a government that had gone off the rails into tyranny? Or was he a terrorist? Well, it was a textbook definition of terrorism, blowing up a building and killing that many people. So that's not resistance, right? On this side, marches, sit-ins, weddings, festivals. On this side, bombings. Is resistance only bad, then, when it's violent? Well, if I'm going to be brutally honest, as an Irishman, I'm a little less quick to judge the IRA for their horrific bombings. I'm not defending them. I'm just saying that parliamentary procedures were not going to get them anywhere. As an abolitionist, I'm a little less quick to judge John Brown for bombing Harper's Ferry. As an anti-fascist, I'm a lot less quick to judge the Allied forces for their horrific bombings across Nazi Germany. In these cases, the bombing violates my theology, my commitment to love. But the people dropping the bombs are fighting the people who committed themselves to the destruction of a people So bombs are bad, but at least we're working for the liberation of an oppressed people. I don't know. I like this conversation better when it was really obvious, when it was civil rights and tantrums. But the reality is that we live in a very complex world. So I'd love to preach about how obvious it is that we should resist, but I want the question that drives us today to be this: when is resistance holding the moral ground? And when is resistance just a stubbornness, a resistance to grow and change? The hard truth is that everybody makes a moral argument for the resistance. No one twists their mustache at the end of the day saying, "Behold my evil plans." That's just in cartoons. I resist the pro-life movement's actions because I believe women have a choice over their own health care and bodies. But the argument from the pro-life movement also has a moral claim that they are siding with love, that they are working to stop violence against the not yet born child. I support mandatory vaccines because I think we have a moral obligation to keep one another safe from preventable diseases, and not incidentally, I don't want polio. But the side opposing mandatory vaccines believes that people should have a choice over their own health care and bodies. Now, dang it, that was my argument for pro-choice. The longer I think about it, the more I realize that the story of noble resistance gets adopted by anyone who is pushing against the status quo. Because everyone wants to think that they are holding the moral ground. I assure you, ICE agents go to bed at night believing they are saving America. And anybody, just about, can make a good enough sounding argument. Here's a horrific case in point. Quote, "We will preserve and defend the basic principles upon which our nation has been built." That's a moral argument. Was that from Abraham Lincoln or Adolf Hitler? It wasn't Lincoln. If we are to take seriously our Unitarian Universalist calling to practice resistance rooted in our covenantal values, then we need a better way to tell if we're resisting with love at the center, or if we're just stubbornly fighting for our own interests. We make these kinds of moral arguments to justify our resistance because, well, we tend to see ourselves as the heroes in the story, right? We're Frodo in The Lord of the Rings. And here's the thing, as Unitarian Universalists in America, we are doubly cloaked in stories of heroic resistance. The first cloak, being an American. American colonists resisted the king who set awful taxes, quartered soldiers, suppressed free speech. The immigrants who came to America to resist the oppressive religious or political climates in the home country. Now, of course, these first stories were white male landowner stories, but they set in place a climate where resistance was a kind of foundational moral obligation, not a threat to the peace. That's one cloak. The other cloak, Unitarians and Universalists, founded in resistance, kicked out of big church's table almost immediately. Our roots are in congregationalism, pushing back against any sort of ecclesiastical authority. We don't want bishops. Congregations have all of the power in Unitarian Universalism. You ordain, hire, and fire ministers, and frankly, half of Unitarian Universalist congregations are doing just fine without a full-time minister. We do have a Unitarian Universalist association, but it supports congregations. It doesn't govern them. Now, you can try as a Catholic to be a resistor, a disruptor, but let me know how that goes for you. It's not going to go well. By contrast, in Unitarian Universalism, we are the inheritors of resistance. It is our default way of engaging with the world. So as American Unitarian Universalists, we are doubly cloaked in the story of heroic resistance. On our best days, that means that we are the first out of the gate to show up for the oppressed. On our worst days, it means we hurt one another and call it resistance. When the Celebrant team met to discuss this theme of practicing resistance, we arrived at the hard realization that resistance is actually morally neutral. Previous months, like gratitude is pretty much always a good practice. But resistance, it's complicated. It depends on your moral compass. It depends on the intention of your resistance. It's easy to judge a kid screaming to turn off the TV because the moral compass there is, I want. But resistance grows in complexity as we do, doesn't it? The truth is that for everybody, sometimes we resist because our conscience calls us to speak up for the rights of others. And sometimes we resist because we want. We want to act the way we're acting without acknowledging how our actions impact other people. We want to continue getting whatever it is that we're getting without honoring its costs. Or we want to change things so that we start to get more of what we want. How do we know when we're holding the moral ground in our resistance? There are 3 questions I try to ask myself when I'm about to resist something. First, is it centered in compassion? Second, does it center the well-being of other people? And third, does it center the humanity of people? Is your resistance centered in compassion? Because everyone justifies their resistance with some kind of argument. But bad resistance is foundationally about I want. It's about domination. Whereas good resistance centers compassion. Edna Griffin's sit-in was about the inherent worth and dignity of people. I shall sit here and I will wait for you to notice that I'm a human being. I'm not going to burn down your deli. I'm not trashing you on Facebook. I will sit here immovably, though, to give you this opportunity to free yourself from your racism. Is it centered in compassion? Second, is it centered in the well-being of others? This is where the kid screaming about TV loses their moral ground. It's about I want. By contrast, Reverend Dr. King's work to build the beloved community was in spite of himself. He put himself in mortal danger every day for decades to work for the liberation of millions of people. The point was never what he wanted. It was about working to bend the moral arc of the universe towards justice. And I want us to stay on this point for a minute. Are you resisting because you want or because you're centering love for all people? It's very easy to lie to ourselves about this one. The philosopher Immanuel Kant particularly struggled with this question. When are our actions actually selfish, and when are they genuinely altruistic? I bring up Kant because he coined the phrase, inherent worth and dignity of people. Kant believed that you should never treat people as a means to getting something. People were always and only ever an end to themselves. They are always inherently worthy. That is Kant's philosophy. So he struggled with this question of altruism versus selfishness, and he said, here it is, if you want to know if your action or resistance is selfish, ask if what you're doing should be the thing that everybody always does, the categorical imperative. Right? Is your action something that just benefits you, or do you want everyone in the world to always do that thing? Here's a great example, that light on Belle and Fleur. I don't mind catching a very late yellow so that I don't have to sit there for 45 seconds. I don't want to wait. I just don't want you all to drive that way. That's selfish. If I'm mad at a person, if I'm mad at an organization, I might want to trash them on social media. Say, this is all bad. But I don't want to live in a world where that's how we use social media. If your resistance is fundamentally about you getting what you want, but you wouldn't want everyone to act that way, Kant says, well, you might not be resisting for liberation. Is it compassionate? Is it centering other people? And then finally, and this one you're not going to like me on, are you resisting enemies, the bad guys, the bad people? Or are you still able to hold the humanity of the people you're resisting? This is where people across every political spectrum and every religious denomination really do lie to themselves. Gandhi said, I am not anti-British, but I am anti-injustice. Reverend Dr. King preached an amazing sermon on Matthew 5 about loving your enemies. Calling the president a fat Cheeto is not resistance. That's adolescent bullying. I'm deeply uninterested in his weight, but I'm very interested in his actions. The truth is that I totally get where kids come from when they are resisting to the TV. It's very, very hard for a child to stop doing the super fun thing in order to do the less fun thing. And I think if I polled you, a lot of us have a hard time turning off the TV to go to bed at night too. Beyond that, I would never want to raise a perfectly compliant child up to 18 and then send them out into the world. They would not be ready for the world. They would not be ready because it's important to push back when things are wrong. It's a moral duty. As we go through this January theme of practicing resistance, though, remembering that we are doubly cloaked in the virtue of it, cultivate some rigorous honesty with ourselves. What exactly are we resisting and why? And perhaps more importantly, how are we resisting? If my resistance worked, would it move all of us closer to the beloved community? It's a different way of thinking about the world. We live in a world that measures outcomes and results and bottom lines. And so we come here to recenter ourselves, to ask ourselves, maybe that's not the right way to measure living. Because just as a side note, 200 years from now, no one will remember us. Everything that you own will be someone else's or gone, right? All of your possessions will be redistributed. No fifth grade class will be studying the great and mighty works of me or you. Outcome-oriented thinking is essential for the productivity of what needs to get done this week, this month. But we need a community like this to remind us of the value of process-oriented thinking, how and why we do things. So we gather on Sundays and in all of our small group work to remember that it matters how and why we do things, not just that we did them. And the hard truth of the matter is only you will ever really know why you're resisting. So as we turn over this new year and begin the journey into 2026, wow, that sounds so science fiction. Let us promise ourselves radical honesty in our own hearts, because I get the sense that there's going to be a lot of times this year when we will resist. But let us have the courage to know that our resistance is grounded sometimes in I want, in I don't want to change. And let us also have the courage to be bold in our resistance when we know it is grounded in love and compassion and the flourishing of all people. When we side with love, we have the company of generations of brave Unitarian ancestors at our backs. For all the saints, let inward love guide every deed. By this we worship and are freed. May it be so. Amen.
Please rise for our final hymn, number 34, Though I May Speak with Bravest Fire.
Please join me, please join me in saying the extinguishing chalice words in your order of service or on the screen. The flame is extinguished, but not our hope for the future. our courage in the face of crisis, or the love we share in all the world.
May we go forth with the courage to search our hearts, to work with love and for love, for the flourishing of all people. Go in peace.
Be ours a religion which like sunshine goes everywhere. Its temple all space, its shrine a good heart, its creed all truth, its ritual works of love.
As this live stream from First Unitarian Church comes to an end, remember that previous live streams can be found on our YouTube channel. We'd love to see you in person someday. Until then, thanks for joining us.